Does your cat need to wear a collar? Have you tried collar training your cat without success? Or maybe you've put a collar on your cat only to find that it falls off just a few days later. In this tutorial, we are talking all about collar training cats. Hi, I'm Julie the cat teacher, and I help you teach your cat fun and practical skills to enrich their life and strengthen the cat-human bond. Which cats need to wear a collar? I'm not an advocate for cats roaming free outside, but if you do let your cat out unsupervised, they absolutely need to wear a collar. Cats who go outdoors unsupervised are at risk for so many things. They can get lost, they can get in a fight with another cat, and in the worst possible scenario, they can get hit by a car. Imagine someone finds your cat and has no way of getting in touch with you. If a cat that roams free gets lost, people may assume that that cat is a stray and start to feed them. That's going to make it even harder for your cat to find their way home because they may stay at that new residence where they're getting fed. If you're like me and you take your cat for leash walks, you're also going to want to put a collar on your cat. That's because there is no such thing as an escape-proof harness. If your cat gets out of the harness, having a collar on them is an additional safety measure. Many indoor cats are also at risk of getting lost because they DoorDash. If your cat is an accomplished DoorDasher, you're also going to want to put a collar on them. People with indoor cats might choose to use collars strategically when they know that their cat is more at risk. If we move or go to a new location like an Airbnb, Jones will always wear his collar because a change in environment puts your cat more at risk. You might be wondering if it's enough for your cat to have a microchip. Unfortunately, microchips don't work that well in helping recover lost cats. That's because it's not obvious to a person who's found your cat that your cat might have a microchip, and it's going to be a lot of work for them to find out if your cat has one. They first have to trap your cat, and some cats can be really fearful and not let anyone get close to them, and then they have to take your cat to the vet to scan for a microchip. There's a lot of barriers for someone to do this, especially if they don't have a vehicle or a carrier. It would be so much easier for your neighbor to identify your cat if they had a collar on them and to get in touch with you if they needed to. One of the barriers for people putting a collar on their cat is that they perceive collars as dangerous. And the truth is, collars do pose some risk. Some cats can get their jaw stuck in the collar or their paw when they scratch the collar. And outside, when they're going through different terrain, they could get their collar caught in something. But the truth is that the risk is actually quite low. In a study done on hundreds of cats, only 3% of cats got into some sort of situation with their collar. And in most of those cases, it was in the first week or 5 days of wearing the collar. It's also good to know that the collars that pose the most risk are the ones that are elastic, because over time they tend to stretch out, making it easier for the cat to get caught in something. Because of the dangers, many people use breakaway collars. Breakaway collars are more sensitive collars designed to unclasp if your cat gets tangled or gets caught in it. In this study, researchers also found that many of these collars did not function as intended. When we talk about breakaway collars, unfortunately, the sensitivity of them is not well defined. One of the challenges is if the collar keeps falling off because it's too sensitive, many people will quit and say, well, I tried putting a collar on my cat, but it just kept falling off. In my opinion, the best collar for your cat is the one that stays on and supports a tracking device. Tracking devices make it easier to see where our cats are going and if they get lost to recover them. Today, the technology of tracking devices is so much more advanced that they're very lightweight and every cat can wear one. And ultimately, that's going to be what keeps our cats the safest. Key takeaways here is that there's no such thing as a set it and forget it collar. Supervise your cat, especially in the first week, to make sure that it stays on and it's well fitted. If you feel more comfortable with your cat wearing a breakaway collar, test them for their sensitivity so it's the right match for your cat. You can even find breakaway collars like this one that have settings you can change depending on the weight of your cat. To keep your cat safe, add a tracking device to their collar. And use training to help your cat accept a collar. Now we're going to start the collar training plan. I recommend starting this training with a very large loop. Using food, guide your cat's head through the loop. Notice how I feed Jones once his head is through the loop, and then I give him another treat when I take it off.
Good. Good. Yes. Good. Yes.
Now we're going to use a finger target or target stick instead of food. In this clip, you can see I'm using the finger target to guide his head through. I feed him with the collar on before removing it. Repeat a bunch of times to build your cat's confidence. If your cat is too grabby with your hands, you can substitute with a target stick. Warm your cat up with the target stick touches with their nose and then use it as a tool to guide their head through the loop.
Nice. Good.
Now that your cat understands the exercise, the goal is for them to see the loop and to respond to it automatically. Present the loop, and if they don't respond to it, help with the hand signal. Keep practicing until they see the loop and don't need any other prompts to put their head through.
Yes.
Now we're going to open the clasp and remove the collar. This will allow your cat to get used to the sensation of your hands behind their neck removing the equipment.
Good. Nice.
Now we're going to practice opening and closing the clasp. The goal of this step is to help your cat get used to the feeling of you closing the equipment around their neck. Notice how I gradually start to widen the distance that I'm closing the collar until it mirrors what it would look like to put a collar on your cat.
Good. Wow, look how good you're doing. Nice.
Now you can see that my hand position is starting to look like how it should be when you put a collar on your cat.
Yes.
At this stage, you should be ready to bring out your cat's collar and introduce it to them.
Yes.
Practice putting it on and removing it.
Yes.
It's good not to have the expectation that your cat will wear the collar for long periods of time when you first put it on.
Yes.
Now you can gradually extend the time that your cat wears the collar. Try to distract them at first with treats, toys, attention, anything you can do so that they don't pay attention to the fact that they're wearing their collar. Thank you so much for watching this video and learning all about collar training. Have fun working with your cat, and I wish you lots of training success.